with it. Welcome to my live stream podcast, whatever it is. Yeah, great to be back. Just wanna check on the seedling containers today that I brought. I have more. I brought the ones from yesterday. I already moved back to the lamp under the plant lamp, and I will just continue to check on the seedlings that we have here. Apart from that, I want to clean cactus seeds. These are Lubivia, Sörensia cactus seeds. I want to clean those. Yeah, and later today, I want to discuss something that happened in my life with my mother. My mother was kind of robbed, and yeah, I need to talk about it today. Very unhappy about the situation. But yeah, I want to talk about it later when people are online. But yesterday was pretty rough. I'm still shocked how low people can be, like from stealing from people who are hurting themselves. So was very disappointed yesterday, but we will discuss that later. I need to get it off my chest because it's such a sad and pathetic situation that needs to be discussed. But yeah, apart from that, I want to do the seedlings. I want to clean a bunch of seeds. About the kiwi are in the freezer now. Actually, the fridge. Not sure how cold it is. Maybe 7 degrees. I'm not sure. I might have to put it in the freezer to kind of induce a cold winter period on the seeds. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, and I want to get started with the seedlings so I can get through them. And later, yeah, we will discuss the other stuff. A lot of things are going on right now. Life's really difficult right now. This week I will get a new window. Hopefully I will get heating oil. So yeah, a lot of stuff's happening right now. And a lot of it not good. So welcome to the stream, guys. Just doing my usual seedling checking. Open up the first bag and I already see a problem. There's a seedling that has germinated on the wall of the square pot, which means it's not able to take in any nutrients, and it has been like that for a while. So while all the other seedlings look great, this one doesn't, and I need to transplant it, and it's stuck. I'm not sure if I saw it in time. It's already pretty dehydrated, but it has a chance. So I will put it in the soil now. Want to give it a chance. If everything goes right, if it manages to take in nutrients and water today, maybe it can turn around and recover. But it's already pretty late. Apart from that, the seedlings look great. No fungus gnat. And yesterday I saw that on Facebook, a post came up where someone posted a photo of seedlings and asked why they have fallen over. And that is something that has reminded me a lot about the problems that we had, where suddenly the seedlings just lie there. And usually it's because the fungus gnat starts eating the roots of the seedling. And when it's done, it has no stability anymore, no real connection to the ground, and then it falls over. So when I see seedlings that are lying around, then that could be a good option. In this one, there are a few seedlings that are lying, but I believe it's because I handled it too harshly. So I would try to reposition the seedlings that I had moved, but that's it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my live stream podcast, whatever. Today I put podcast in the title with it because it definitely has something of a podcast, but I'm not sure. It's not something where I feel like I am currently a podcaster. I don't see myself as one, but I enjoy the idea, like the ability to sometimes have a chat on the thing, maybe invite someone in. I like that idea. Running it a little bit like that, also like a little diary. Okay. So yeah, let me tell you a little bit about what went on with my mother. I need to get it off my chest now. I know that a lot of people will watch the stream later, so they can start with this one right away. My mother was making, like, they were on the bank with my grandmother. My grandmother is very old, like ancient, over, like, getting close over 90 or getting close to 90, pretty close to 90 already. So they were on the bank, and someone stole my mom's purse. One of these pickpocket thieves that walk around you, probably. She noticed that someone had opened the bag, like the side of the jacket, or the side of the bag, something like that. And and then she noticed that the purse was gone. And in the purse there were all kinds of different paperwork, ID cards, everything, the stuff for the car. So what my mom did was she instantly called the bank to freeze the cards. And so the guy stole her purse with $100, maybe $100 roughly. But the worst of the damage just came yesterday when we saw that whoever has stolen my mother's purse has also now deducted like $1,000 from her bank account. And my mother, she doesn't have a lot. She's pretty sick, and in my opinion, that is why they targeted her with this scam, trying to get somehow, maybe I'm not sure how they did it. But my mom's heartbroken now, because they took like $1,000 from her bank account. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you around. I'm just talking about the situation with my mother. My mother was the victim of one of those pickpocketing kind of scams. Guy stole her purse. She wasn't even sure if it's a man or a woman, but ended up causing a lot of damage for my mom. And I'm just in the middle of we're just in the middle of trying to sort that out. Pressing charges, that kind of stuff. And I'm just so disappointed today that I had to bring it on with me online. I already knew that I wanna talk about this because it's such a low thing to do, stealing from people who are struggling right now. Such a difficult time. And she's feeling terribly. So I've been trying to get my mom to not cry, yesterday. So it wasn't really nice day yesterday. And I really hope that they will catch that guy or woman who did it. They must have him on the camera taking money from the account. At least at the bank, they gotta have a camera. So we just hope that police will care enough to help my mother. But in my opinion, it can happen that the money is just gone, like that that the bank won't really help her. And the police might say, the police might look at the camera footage, and then you don't see anything because the whole face is kind of covered. My mom is from Germany. Hey, good morning, Dave. Yeah, just talking about what went on with my mother. I'm not sure. I talked about it maybe shortly yesterday, but someone managed to pickpocket my mom's purse, and it was really it was really bad. Like yesterday, I said to her, "You should really check your bank account," you know, and yeah, and then it really hit because the guy, whoever did it, had also taken like $1,000 from her account, and that's so much money for my mother, you know. So I'm really, really disappointed in humanity, kind of, you know. If my, I always look at it and think how disappointed I would be if my child would be out there stealing purses, you know, snatching purses from vulnerable people, you know, that kind of stuff. So I was really disappointed yesterday, and I hope that things will be all right long term. Yeah, karma will hopefully catch up, but it's just, you know, they are doing this. This is organized, you know. Um, they are doing this, snatching the purse, and within just a few minutes, they are taking money from the account. You know, this has been so professionally done, and we have a lot of problems with that in the nearby area, in the bigger cities. You know, there's whole industries of that stuff, and they are very organized. I feel like they can operate like that in within the legal system for too long. You know, they have, I feel like the legal system gives them too much leeway. They should go harder after them. Like they shouldn't even be able to build an industry with something like this, you know. Yeah, I mean, yes, I have seen these kinds of purses, wallets, you know. I've seen them. At this point, I'm not sure how they managed to break into the account, but yeah, that I feel really sorry for my mother. You know, they always start to kind of look for. They try to blame themselves. Then, you know, my mother was instantly so disappointed in herself that it happened. You know, and it hurt me. It really hurt me. So I will try to help her. I'm not sure how, but I will try to kind of. I don't expect that the bank will kind of pay the $1,000. I don't think they will do that. The way I know banks will not go down like that. So I might have to help her. And yeah, but it's difficult right now. It's a difficult time. It was already a difficult time before that. I'm just glad that this week I will get my window fixed and I will get heating oil. You know, we were just already getting all the funds together to pay for this, and now someone comes around and just steals $1,000. Conto like is in the minus now, like overdrawn. So, but I was very disappointed yesterday. I posted about it on Facebook, and because I wanted to talk about it. You know, normally I would have said, okay, I'm quiet about it, but I was so disappointed. It was such a thing, you know, when you kind of lose faith in humanity a little bit. So yeah, but it's okay. These people need to live with themselves every day. They get up in the morning stealing from old people, you know. They kind of they can't be happy. They can't be happy with themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it like that. Yep. So that was my day yesterday. I went over to say hello, and then we checked the bank account. Yeah, and also with my father. Spent some time with my father yesterday, just making sure that we spend a little time together as a family, because we might don't have, you know, it might not be that we have a lot more of these family moments that we had, and yesterday the family moment was kind of overtaken with that. So I hope long term we can leave this behind very soon. I'm just glad that it's not, you know, when you always hear from when they scam older people, how much money they sometimes take, you know, when they are completely emptying the account and all these things, where the scams are really hurting people to a point where it's hard to recover. At the least, I mean, it's $1,000, but it's not that. It could have been so much worse, and I'm happy that it didn't get to that. But yeah, this will hurt for a very long time, and it will hurt my mother. Just hope that she will get over that. Apart from that, everything, yeah, like I said, I will get a new window this week. I had to fix everything with the waterproof tape that you often see from home shopping, like that kind of stuff. I sealed everything that it doesn't rain anymore, because it had been raining into my bathroom after the window fell off. So yeah, this week there will be a new window, finally. Very happy. You never know what you have until you suddenly no longer have a window. Like you don't appreciate the window because it's just there doing its job. But if it falls out, then you suddenly know how valuable it was that it wasn't raining into the house, you know. So yeah, I want to continue to check the seedlings. Otherwise, I'm getting too depressed. Like the stuff with my mom, this has really dragged me down yesterday. So I want to leave it behind me a little bit. But I'm really disappointed in humanity a little bit. So yeah, these here, they're looking great, but it's a little bit too dry. So they need to get a little bit water in this container of seedlings. The soil is so dry that the seedlings can't really dig themselves in so easily. They need a little bit of humidity to just grow. It's not enough. Okay, so I will put this aside for water. Don't have any water here with me right now. Merry Christmas, guys. Okay, so these are looking good. Everything okay. There's a little bit of grass that has germinated around the seedlings, and I will remove it before it gets so big that I can no longer rip it out without tearing everything out. Grass can really become a problem. The longer the root, the more difficult it is to get it out again. Apart from that, the seedlings are looking great. Uvekala hybrid, Flying Dragon Cantora. Very good cross. Hey, good morning. Welcome to my stream. Just checking seedlings and, talked a little bit about the situation with my mother. But yeah, it is what it is. But right now I'm going through maybe 20 more of the containers that we have sown out on the stream. Just checking the status, looking into everyone to see if there's maybe fungus gnats or fungal infections, that kind of stuff. Yes, they are under a plant lamp, and it's not a good one. I mean, I don't want to, it doesn't mean that it's a bad lamp, but I've heard a lot about the kind of quality that the people who work a lot with the lamps get, and this is just Mars Hydro kind of lamp. I think the name is TS1000. It's a classic kind of plant lamp, and for the seedlings, it's perfect. It doesn't really draw a lot of electricity, but I'm sure if you want to have the best, most efficient lamp, there might be others out there that will surpass that by far. I just got something that had very little electricity draw because the electricity costs are so high for me. And I also, part of why I run the lamp it's because the cat loves to sleep there. The cat just likes to sleep below the plant lamp, and every now and then I let her. It's just when it's raining outdoors, you know. So yeah, but it already costs a lot of electricity to run the lamp. Like I don't know, maybe $50 or so. I could see that happening. $50 a month, maybe 40, but it's definitely already costing me a lot in my situation, you know. But I have so many seedlings packed under the lamp. I have a little movable shelf that I have, and that I can move it around back and forth, and then I have them have the lamp directly above it. Really a great setup for the seedlings because they grow a lot faster than they would if I had no lamp at all. And even the cheapest kind of lamp will be enough. I mean, cactus seedlings do not really need a lot of sun, like strong sun. In the beginning, when you read about them, when you read about growing cacti from seeds, you often read about diffuse sunlight, you know, like that kind of indirect sunlight that you get from the side a little bit just for a few hours. That could already be enough for cactus seedlings. They just don't need it. But if you have a good lamp with a good spectrum, full spectrum kind of lamp, it makes the seedlings grow so much faster. And that can be great because you get them faster through the most dangerous phase in the beginning when they are tiny. During that time, a plant lamp can really help you. So yeah, I've been using lamps for, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And I like LED lamps because they don't pull a lot of electricity. It's always a cost kind of thing. If you want to grow bigger plants, bigger cacti, a stronger lamp might be necessary. They get better every year, and I'm sure at some point the LED lamps will be good enough to also grow a large plant. So yeah, I mean the wattage isn't really the kind of criteria that they tell you to look at with the grow lamp. You know, they say that the PAR numbers and all that stuff, you know, like whatever chip they are using. But that's already too much specialized knowledge. If I would be growing something else, you know, I might put a lot more energy into that. But for the cacti, I have no plans to grow them indoors. What I want to grow indoors is maybe a few chili, kiwi, some kind of shrubs that I want to start sowing out. Maybe a few fruit trees, or maybe a few acacia, or maybe some eucalyptus trees, pine trees, maybe stuff like that, you know. So I don't really need the strongest lamp that's possible, because I'm sure they are out there, really good ones. Okay. So yeah, yesterday I talked a little bit about Ben Cam and his nursery that is currently facing a difficult time. I just wanted to say about that. I followed the Reddit discussion about it and wrote a few things. Yeah, and it's becoming a huge subject within the next weeks, I am sure. People will talk about it, people will discuss about it, and I hope it helps them a little bit to kind of get attention to whatever struggles they are facing. But yeah, I followed up the discussion on Reddit yesterday, and it was really interesting. There were also a few people that were kind of, you know, writing stuff like that this is just, it just happens that they go out of business, you know, that shops go out of business. That was what a few comments pointed out. But in all honesty, it's not just that a shop would be lost with Ben, but they have an immense amount of genetic material that is rare. They have a lot of amazing plants that they collected from their field trips. in 2009, 2010, and 2008. So they had been propagating a lot of rare stuff, and I just hope they can continue to do that, because there are many plants where there are just not that many sources around. So yeah. But we discussed that yesterday, and it's a problem that I've seen. I've been around for maybe 25 years now. I've seen so many old school sources come and go, and it's always a giant loss. Genetic treasure, genetic material that is lost, but also knowledge, just people you can ask. They are disappearing everywhere. So yeah, these are looking great. Healthy seedlings in here. Nothing that would cause alarm. Maybe a little bit of a reddish discoloration, but when they are in a bag closed up like this will not be a problem. It will become a problem if you take them out and just they continue to lose water and you don't fill it up. Then the reddish discoloration will become worse and worse. So yeah. And thank you guys for participating in my stream. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. If not, I'm just going through the containers and discussing the seedlings that we have grown so far. We have grown a lot. I don't know, maybe 100 containers like this. And we will get in trouble very soon. So it's good that it happens when I'm on air. The subreddit where this was discussed was another one. I'm not sure, someone tagged me in one of those other Trichocereus subreddits. I'm not sure which one it was. But the post came up all over. It came up on Facebook. It came up on different subreddits, I think. Yeah, and I just commented where they tagged me. So you have a look. I'm sure you can find it. It was just in the last days, and I'm sure it will be a constant subject in the next couple of weeks, maybe. It's just a difficult industry. It's hard to survive as a nursery with such a special interest kind of customer, It is hard to kind of upscale, like scale it up to a point where you can just run it like one of these, like all the competition that you are faced with. There's a lot of competition by big stores where you can't really compete. So you are very specialized, and when you do that, I mean, something can happen. You lose a lot of stock in one winter, and it can throw you into a real problem. Like when people, the way that what I've seen was that they had taken orders and had a much later delivery time, like a delivery time from a year maybe. And when they lose plants over winter, they can get in trouble. So yeah, and I'm not surprised, I wouldn't be able to run a nursery like that. It just wouldn't make sense financially. I would have to invest so much money into infrastructure, into all the stuff that is needed, pots, soil, fertilizer. It wouldn't make sense financially. Most of the people that are doing that, they do it because they love the hobby, they love the craft, Yeah, right now, I mean, during COVID, the prices went up on a lot of cacti. People were just at home, and a lot of them got some kind of support from the government in some countries. That really happened, and it helped. And right now, everything is looking very grim. People just don't have the money to spend on hobby. I see it in my own life. This year alone, I don't think I spent, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of the money that I would have to spend on stuff like soil and pots, just because it was such a bad year. Inflation is so bad, and then you have the situation that everything you import or export has something added to it now, like tariff, whatever, you know, tariff, customs, shipping. The shipping costs have doubled since COVID. Like, I remember a time when I shipped my books to the United States, and it cost me $25 to ship 2 books, like a bundle, volume 1 and 2. That was before COVID, and then COVID happened, and now it costs me 50 to ship 2 books. So the price has basically doubled for the shipping already. It just becomes a very difficult industry, especially now that they are also competing with propagators from Asia, or from Eastern Europe. You know, they are propagating very cheap for very cheap prices. It becomes a very difficult industry to survive in. I will look at that. Thank you, Dave. I think I've seen that. If that is the guy that spends so much time on the phone with them and wastes their time, then yes, that's great. Yeah, I mean, in this case with my mother, I can't really, I'm really disappointed on a human level, like in humanity in general, you know, because my mother is such a good kind of person and has so many problems like in her life, you know, and still marches on. And, you know, and then every time it gets a little better, then something like this happens, you know. So it's, yeah, but it happened now, you know. I would just try to move past it so I can help her get back to normal. Things need to get back to normal because she's not healthy. She needs to recover. And I'm just really disappointed on a human level. If that, you know, I'm not that old, you know, but I already think about the values that I wanna kind of leave behind, the values that I stand for on the channel, on my stream, in every video where I'm interviewed, whatever. The values that I want to stand for, it's positive kindness, you know, be kind. And I would be so disappointed if that was my child who would be out there snatching purses from vulnerable people. I mean, I know life is hard, you know, I know because my life has been very hard. But you don't see me going out preying on the weakest of society, you know. So that kind of stuff is really disappointing to see, but it's okay. I mean, it happens, you know. It's not that these people are bad people. Maybe they are misguided in their life, you know. And I just hope that at some point they will see the kind of hurt that they put out in the world. So yeah, but I don't want to make a huge thing out of it because I don't want my mother to see it as a huge thing. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, you know, so I try to kind of downplay it now. $1,000 are $1,000, but it isn't really worth getting a heart attack over it. It isn't really worth that my mom is beating herself up on it. They do this constantly. Organized kind of. My grandmother was called just a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago, where they called my grandmother, which is near 90. And yeah, they called my grandmother claiming to be a close relative, asking for money, crying on the phone, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it has become pretty bad, and I see this becoming really even worse through AI. It's just how it is. I mean, they are already starting to fake the voice of relatives on the phone. They look you up on Facebook, whatever, when they are targeting relatives, you know. So it's just sad that it is like this. Hey, good morning. Yeah, these are looking great. Seedlings are looking good. I had to remove one where I feel like the fungus gnats got it, like where the root system was gone. But I'm not even sure. I'm just taking it out to be certain, to not take a risk. Apart from that, they are looking great here. Thank you for participating in my stream. today, for the first time, I added podcast to it because it's a little bit like that. So everything is evolving constantly on the channel. In spring and summer, we will stream from outdoors, having a very nice kind of nature, back to nature kind of vibe. But right now we are just indoors. I mean, outside it's raining. Had to move all the cacti into the greenhouses. So now we're doing the indoors activity, sowing out cactus seeds. What you see here, the seedlings that I'm just showing in every stream, that we've sown them out just recently. If you want to have a look at when everything started, you can look at all the videos. They are all there. Check out the stream and check out the videos that I did before that, where I also started sowing out. And right now we check them on a regular basis. And they are looking good. Everything going great. We have them under a plant lamp just to get them growing, just to get them through the difficult phase right away. Yes, I have an email address. I will post it somewhere in the comments. I don't want to I want to avoid doing it on air because otherwise I'm being spammed again, with just automatic spam. But I will write it down somewhere. And I have it on my website also. You know, the trichocerois.net page. I have it there. So yeah, let me get back to you. I will write it in the comments. But you can usually reach me via my email. I'm old school. I just had to deactivate all the messenger stuff that's out there, because it was constantly lighting up. Then Instagram decided to split all the messages that you got up. Now you have 6 folders that you have to constantly monitor, to know that, you know, every time someone sends me a message, it lands in a different kind of folder or subfolder of a folder. So it's easier when people just write me an email. So yeah, these are looking great. Very young seedlings, not too old. Some of them even look variegated, so we might lose some of them long term. Variegation is also always a little red flag in regards to genetic health. It's not that variegation doesn't look awesome, but it kind of tells you that there's something that was genetically distant, to say it mildly. Genetically distant, or maybe genetically troubled, whatever you want to call it. Just a general mismatch when you make a hybrid cross. Not every hybrid cross works out. And sometimes you have a cross that works, but the seedlings are kind of weak. They are variegated, sometimes even crested. But it also affects the general growth rate sometimes. Not always. There are crests that grow just like normal plants grow, but it can happen. It happens quite often that you can see that a cross will turn out a little bit mutated just by looking at the seedlings. So yeah, next one here. Not seeing any fungus gnats, but it doesn't mean they can't be there. One seedling fell over, but it was probably from handling it, pressing on the outside of this thin plastic. But okay. So yeah, these are looking good. I don't think I can zoom in this kind of video. I can try. It's not difficult to zoom, to focus for the camera in this live stream. But I can do a video about the seedlings. Yeah, we will do a video version of this that allows me to zoom in. This kind of live stream thing, it's just a fixed camera. When I start trying to zoom here, I don't think it will do it. Let me see if it focuses. Yeah, okay. Now it focused a little bit. You see? very tiny, maybe 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old. I will try showing them if the camera focuses like that when I press against the display, because I wanted to show them a little bit better. So here's a seedling that looks like it's completely mangled, completely. I don't think it will have a normal health growth, but I will give it a try. It just looks a little bit weird. Maybe it just didn't get enough humidity. Maybe it lost touch with the ground. So I will give it one last chance where I just put it very firmly against the soil. If that doesn't work, we have to take it out. Yeah, we're discussing the seedlings separately too. I will continue posting videos with bigger seedlings too today. I want to post one per day. I just took me one pot from the greenhouse where there was something to do and filmed it, and then I brought it back and took another one, and I did maybe 4 or 5 videos where I just inspect the seedlings. And the seedlings, these are a little bit bigger. They're maybe 1 year old, like from last year. And we will discuss them in separate videos, and we will do more of the separate seedling kind of stuff too. I was kind of, when you're focused on the stream, I kind of forgot about that a little bit, but we will get back to it. So yeah, seedlings here are looking good. This is one of the containers where we had problems, where there was an infection that kept coming back. Sometimes you feel that you can't see it, but it's there, and it claims one seedling. Then everything goes good for another week. Then you find another seedling that is gone, and that's what happened with these here. So last time I tried to really get everything that looked infected, and I hope we made it. But the more I'm looking, the more I'm inspecting seedlings, the more I feel like something could become a problem. Like when I look at the root system, kind of looks like the root system on some of them doesn't look perfect. This one has a few spots here and there. Sometimes you just have a fungal infection inside this thing that keeps running and you don't get it out. So maybe we will have to transplant the seedlings. I was looking at the seedlings here on the outside and moved them around a little bit, and I don't like them. I think I need to take out 2 more seedlings, and that is really painful because they are looking like mutated seedlings. I think we will really transplant them into washed pumice. Otherwise, this soil will continue to be a problem. In this case, it's just contaminated. At some point, the soil is just not useful anymore. Just trying to look at the root system, and it has an infection at the root system. It wasn't even so visible. But yeah, this goes away. This goes into the trash, and we will transplant them into washed pumice like the ones we transplanted yesterday. So yeah, this is bad. It always happens with seedlings where, I don't know, it has a tendency to happen with good seedlings, good crosses where we're looking forward to. But that's just how it is. So yeah, let's see what's going on in this one. And also it might relate to fungus gnats. That kind of stuff, it just contributes to constant little tiny injuries that are happening from the larvae that are crawling around on the soil. Then every now and then, it can only be a minimal problem, not too many, but enough to every now and then cause a seedling to become infected, and then you constantly keep the infection going in the closed bag. So you have it full of spores. Okay, these are looking good. Uwe Kala hybrids. Healthy seedlings. Soil is a little bit too deep. Let me see if I can focus again. You can see how deep it is planted into the pot. That's just too deep. It takes away so much light. I was just trying to save, to not be wasteful with soil, but in this case you end up self-shading the seedlings. Often good when you have a pot, fill it up. Really fill it up, because afterwards everything will sink in, and in the end you kind of have half a pot that is actually used. So yeah, and the same is true with the seedlings. These are looking great, but one problem that I'm seeing here is that it is a huge, massive chunk of seedlings. I mean, it would be fun singling them out. It would be so much work. I hate it. I don't want to do it. I quit, that's it. So yeah, closing them up again. Just to look at it again at another date. This is a problem for another time. Transplanting all these little seedlings, we have to do that, but not today. Okay. Next one. I'm always trying to notice if fungus gnats come out. Very often when you when you open it up, the fungus gnats get freaked, like they kind of freak out and fly away. So that tells you already if you have them, but in this case there were none. Someone writes that they love repotting. That is something that's completely, I never, like, it's the one activity that I really don't like, because it's so dusty, because I'm constantly so dirty when I do it, you know, like out in the dirt. And now that I'm working more with organic kind of soil, the repotting isn't so bad anymore. I particularly don't like repotting mineral stuff. It's just the kind of inner thing that I have to get over when I'm repotting something that is in a mineral medium, because very often you're full of mineral dust, and it's the kind of dust that you should not breathe in. So I'm always, when I do it, I always then have a dust mask, something to keep out the particles, and it's just hard work when you're doing it like that. You can't really see, you can't really breathe, and then you are repotting. So that is one of the reasons why I'm moving towards more organic soil. I just want to have it a little bit easier when I'm repotting, because so much of the time that you do as a cactus breeder is repotting. So yeah, but these are looking great. Healthy looking seedlings. Maybe a month old. Some of them already have the first set of spines, maybe already the second. And some others are very small, tiny, haven't come up yet. So this is good. No problems, no fungus gnats. The ones we had to report yesterday, they were really badly infested with fungus gnats. I was so glad when I got rid of the soil, because it's very hard to get rid of them. Okay, these are looking great. Let me see. Let me try to get it to focus. Really nice, healthy looking seedlings there. Yeah, okay. These are among the oldest that we have grown on the channel. Sisala hybrids. I always, every time I come to these seedlings, I talk about how nice and healthy they look. And it's always the same, because they are really nice. They are already very big. They're growing fast. No fungal problem. Really nice. This is going to lead to a whole lot of seedlings where we can maybe see the flowers eventually one day. Good kind of cross also because of the flower. Flower of Caesar is nice. And this is, I think it's a hybrid with Caesar and pink stripes. I already know that it's great. Okay, next one. Yeah, check this out. Everything is focused in the corner, concentrated in the corner, and that is bad. I mean, normally I should single them out, but they are still too small to single them out. Very sensitive, very vulnerable at this size. So I will just leave them there. And when they are a little bit bigger, we will transplant them. But for now, we just leave them undisturbed and hope that it gets better. That they are that they won't mind growing this far out in the corner. Let me see. I usually use 1/3 soil, 1/3 pumice, and 1/3 lava. Sounds like a great mix. I'm sure this will work. I mean, it always depends on you always build the soil after the climate that you have. You look at whatever climate you have, whatever problems you have there, either if it's too dry, if the soil just can't stay wet long enough, or if it needs more organic material. And with that in mind, you kind of make your soil. Just decide, okay, I need more drainage. Let's add a little bit of pumice. And with lava, I mean, I wouldn't use a lot of lava because it's so fast draining, a very fast draining mineral when used in a cactus soil. But in that kind of combination, you probably you can make it work with the normal soil that you added, you know. But just know that lava is very fast draining, and to the point where I tried to use it just as lava, pure as a medium, and it wasn't good. All the plants looked terrible. None of them were flowering. But when you are growing seedlings, that extra drainage can be great. In the beginning, they are very, very sensitive to overwatering, root rot. So that can be good. That added bit of extra drainage can be positive. Okay, yeah, these are looking good. Healthy looking seedlings, maybe a little bit too dry, but that I don't mind that. It doesn't really matter. There's still humidity in the bag. Even if the soil is completely dry, you usually have some humidity left in the bag. So it takes a while until the soil dries out so much that it becomes a problem, that the seedlings dehydrate. That happens, but it's very far along in the dehydration process. Usually, you should look into the bags, you should check on them. And if the soil is excessively dry, you can just fill up a little bit of water. Okay, these are looking good. A lot of seedlings here. Not seeing any kind of fungus gnat. Nothing. Looking good in regards to the age, maybe 3 weeks. A lot of the seeds still have the seedlings still have the seed corn on top of them, stuck on the edge somewhere. And I usually try to remove it because it can cause fungal infections. The longer they stay stuck on there, the easier it can become a problem. There are just certain cultivars that tend to have problems just letting go of the seed corn. It's not very common, but it can happen. Seen it happen very often. Like, you know, Just because something is rare, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen on a regular basis. And in this one, I really feel like there's 1 or 2 seedlings that look healthy, but the part where the seed corn was stuck don't look so good. So I hope I got them down in time. Might also be a genetic thing here that they don't really, the way the seed corn is built. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the soil mix sounds okay. As long as the pH level of the minerals you put in, as long as that pH level is okay, it will work. The important thing is that you have pumice in there and an organic material, like 2 parts. 2 of the 3 parts are something that is pretty good at least storing some water, giving it off again. Like, the good thing about pumice is that it is so that it can store water and give it back to the roots. So that part is where the pumice is great, and with that in mind, it will work. But if you notice something, if you feel like the soil is too fast draining, then you can always kind of change it a little bit. Like I said, normally you would just look at the environment and all the problems that you have during the year, and then try to find the perfect kind of medium for that. And a mineral medium is usually a pretty good all-round kind of thing, like when they are in a medium that has a lot of pumice, a lot of mineral that has a mineral availability to the seedling, then it is the safest kind of thing. You will just run into problems later on if you have regular heat waves where the soil dries out so much, where everything dries out so much that the mineral medium is too fast draining also. And in that case, you need to water more often then. But it's like, if you compare the likelihood of problems, it is much more likely that you will run into problems with overwatering than underwatering, not enough water. So going with a good drainage is usually the right approach. Looking good, everything in here. Very happy with them. I'm not very happy. I'm very happy with the seedlings. Just so we're clear. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I would always prefer pumice. Always. It's just a better mineral for growing plants. I'm sure lava is a great mineral to use for stone gardens, just putting it out. And that is because it is so life hostile a little bit. The structure is very sharp, fast draining. It is a lot harder for anything to grow in lava compared to pumice. Pumice is a little bit more like a kind of when you're doing liquid culture kind of medium, like Ceramis, that kind of expanded clay. Pumice is a lot like that. Okay, so these are looking great. Looking good. But there's a seedling that I'm not sure what's going on there. I want to look at that. That has been lying there. And it also seems that something has taken a bite out of it. Either that or it's from this. I think this is an infection from the seed, like where the seed got stuck. So it happens. Good that it happens on camera. At this point, the seedlings, and one in there had a little tiny discoloration at the edge, like it usually gets stuck on the corner, like they have these little things that look like ears, like bunny ears, And that's where the seed corn often gets stuck and causes an infection. And in this case, it was like that. I should probably take it out, but maybe it can heal. We'll see. We will give it a chance. Life's also about giving chances, and it will get that one chance. So yeah, let's see what we have here. Oh, young seedlings and something that looks like fungus gnat damage to me. So I'm not sure if you see that there over here in center, there's a seedling lying there. And that it looks like it's been attacked by fungus gnats. Like the root system has been attacked by fungus gnats. I will put it in the soil again, but I'm fairly positive it already doesn't have the tiny bit of root that is needed to survive. Sometimes they can regrow. It's a little bit like you're re-rooting a seedling, but at this point I wouldn't bet on it. So we have to have a very close eye on these. Also because there's probably fungus gnats in it, because it's exactly the type of damage that you see on fungus gnat infestations. My soil is still not here. I have ordered 2 bags of soil, trying to get back to sowing out, this time with sowing soil, and it's not here. DHL, when they delivered, they brought 1 package of the 2 and took the other with it again. Brought it to the post office, and it's like 25 kilos. Like it's a huge package. So that thing will go back. I'm not carrying like that huge kind of package throughout town. So yeah, these are looking great. Not seeing any fungus gnats, but the soil looks a little bit suspicious at the very least. And the algae problem gets worse. They see on the, let me see if I can show it. Yeah, there on the upper left there. At some point we might have to take out the algae. At least I'm disturbing it. It isn't really reliable, but at the very least I kind of slow it down a little bit. I want the seedling to have a little advantage. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you around, guys. It's been an interesting stream today. If you missed it, check out the beginning. It was pretty, I mean, I don't want to say it was good because it was really a sad thing, but it was interesting. I'm really kind of, at the moment, it's a really difficult time. I'm glad when winter is over. I'm glad when the dark time is over. Right now, it's very challenging. Okay. So next one here. This is one of mine. Cross of mine. Smircianus kind of hybrid. Apart from that, everything looking good. Healthy looking seedlings. Maybe a month old now. And I mean, I'm not sure if you noticed, but the seeds that we've sown out, it's just a tiny fraction of the seeds that we have harvested. So we should probably do more, like more sowing out, but there's a limit, you know, there's a point when you cannot handle all the seedlings anymore. So we'll see what we do. Yeah, great to have you around. Thank you for joining. I mean, I understand a lot of people are in different kind of time zones. Just whenever you just feel like it, happy to have you around. If not, I understand. You know, I don't think I would be like getting up in the middle of the night unless it's for like a specific date. You know, I sometimes when I do an interview, that kind of stuff, I would get up in the middle of the night, but it's always a huge thing when people do it to participate on the stream. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean the Smirziana, I mean Echinopsis smirziana, Sorensia smirziana, Trichocereus smirzianus. So far the seedling, like the mother, the hybrid that I have, it looks great. And very often the offspring looks very similar to that. So I'm at this point, it's my last kind of attempt to see if it takes anything from the father. In the previous kind of crosses that I did with it, it looked very much like very little from the father was able to make it into the next generation. It was an interesting hybrid in regards to the body, very massive kind of hybrid. But the flower was very much, it looked similar in regards to the colors, and it was smaller. So it was kind of, I felt it was a step back in regards to the quality, to the original. So I sorted them out. But I still see potential. All these Sorensia kind of plants, they are not used widely. Like a lot of them are underutilized, and I can really see some of them being used in a very good kind of classic cross, like Flying Saucer, like Orange California, the classic hybrids that already involve Sorensia. I can see them being used there and producing a world-class kind of hybrid. Yes, that I think I posted it yesterday or today, and it's a super nice flower. I looked at the video again and thought, wow, this looked really nice. So I gotta put the video of the hybrid that I grew from it, like the offspring. I gotta put it aside, but I think it was in every way the original was better. So I didn't really saw a lot of purpose, like keeping a lot of them around. But maybe I should go into the second generation. Sometimes it can make sense. Okay, yeah, these are looking great. Not seeing fungus gnats so far, but I don't want to praise the day yet. But it looks good. The seedlings are all looking healthy here. Check it out. I'm not sure how old, maybe 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. And looking healthy, growing nice under the lamp. That is one theme that I've seen today, that everything grows nice under the lamp. They grow nicely under the new lamp. Healthy skin, healthy kind of growth, spines, and not dehydrating, which is something that you have to keep an eye out for when you grow them under a plant lamp. I used to have one of these red color lamps, and it was it kept draining the seedlings. It was just too strong for the seedlings. Okay. Yeah, next one. These are looking great also. Not seeing fungus gnats. Today I haven't seen a lot of fungus gnats. I've seen one or two where they cause damage. But apart from that, it's okay. Maybe we can get it under control long term. These are also Uvocala hybrids. Flying Dragon Cantora. Very interesting. I think very like Flying Dragon, Cantora, and Bamboy. That kind of interesting kind of cross. Very good. So yeah, let me see what this is here. Okay, also too deep. Potted it too deep. You see, when the sun hits it, and it kind of hits it at an angle, it is shading a lot of them. Apart from that, the seedlings look great. This is from one of my own crosses, with pink stripes. Oh, yes, a comment is writing that they were able to remove the fungus gnats from a few seedling bags, but now they have like mealy bugs on the bigger ones, probably, right? Very often when you're sowing out, it takes a while for mealy bug to get in contact with the seedlings. So in the beginning, you don't usually see them, but when you see them, it's a huge thing. In my opinion, mealybug are one of the worst pests that you can encounter. Like, people always sometimes underestimate how bad they can get. And this year, when we're going into, like, in the next season, next year, we're just in December, but next year, when we're starting to water, we will spray the seedlings also. We will spray against all kinds of mealybug kind of stuff. I really dislike mealybug, and this year I want to see if we can completely get rid of them. It is very hard when you have them somewhere in a collection, because they are so hardy. You need to spend weeks treating them and really staying on top of the problem. And it's not easy. Like last year, I sprayed seedlings 3-4 times, and they still came back. So next year, next season, we will try to get rid of them. We will spray against them on a regular basis, and either with neem oil, or with an alcoholic kind of thing, where I'm spraying them with 70% alcohol and hope for the best. We'll see what we do, but probably the neem oil will be one of the things that we will use this year. Yeah, I mean, in all the years, the one pest that I probably had the most problems with was mealybug, because it is so hard to get rid of them. So many nurseries have them, so many cactus breeders have them, and I stopped taking in plants from outside sources. I mean, and I still don't get rid of them completely. I have to spray repeatedly, and at some point the plant will recover, but they cause immense damage. They throw them back a good year or two, and not only that, but they constantly cause these micro injuries at the base, where you just suddenly see that there's an infection at the base, where you never really find out what it was that caused it. Where you think, okay, you have a seedling with an infection, so it must be a fungal infection or something like that. But very often it is just the logical outcome of the mealybugs biting and causing problems all around the base, where they are just very common. So yeah, bad pest to have. My condolences. Oh, okay. Yeah, the normal plants have the mealybugs. I mean, it's the same on other plants. They are so hard to get rid of. I hope you get them under control. It's a bad pest. Okay, so yeah, these are looking great. Pink stripes. Always potential in offspring from pink stripes. I've given away a lot of seeds in my life with pink stripe from my pink stripes crosses. And so far, I haven't seen one yet. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. I mean, someone has writing about the idea to use tape. I mean, yes, that would be possible, but you would also catch a lot of good, benign kind of insects on them, Personally, I don't use anything like any glue kind of stuff, because so many normal animals, just little tiny spiders and like all the stuff that is walking around in a healthy ecosystem, they will instantly get caught up also. And you might not even get them all, because the mealybug, they're kind of difficult to get rid of. I can see them even surviving that, and then you caught a lot of good beneficial insects So yeah, unfortunately, it will probably not solve the problem completely. Very often when I see mealybug, I put the plant away, put it at one spot, and at that spot I constantly spray them, maybe every 2 weeks or so, and even then, you often won't get rid of it. It's just a long-term kind of thing. A lot of nurseries have to constantly treat their stock, because they will never manage to get them all because they have too much stock. Yeah, I mean, every time I'm doing a time-lapse video, you can see little spiders kind of building their spider web on camera. It's become like an inside joke that a lot of my time-lapse videos, there's some kind of spider on it, anything that just lives in the pot. I just try not to use the pesticides that take out everything. And even when I treat plants with neem oil, I make sure that nothing is in the pots, nothing else. I try to take out the soil, clean everything, because very often you have good life kind of hidden under the pots. And I put a lot of energy into that. I'm sure a lot of people don't do that, but I just personally want to make sure that me being a hobby grower, me being a hobby breeder, doesn't really cause the place here into the Death Valley for insects, So, and if I would have to use pesticides widely, if you use pesticides everywhere because you want to sell the plants, then you are hitting a lot of good insects everywhere. Pollinators, the kind of stuff that you need, like where they talk about why insects are disappearing, and then it's as a follow-up, the bird populations are having problems because they don't find enough insect food. And so I really try to minimize the pesticide use. And when I do it, even then I have a guilty conscience. Even then I feel sorry because I know that it can happen that I catch a good insect too. Unfortunately, you cannot grow plants without constantly being at battle about that. It's something you are constantly fighting against, not only pests, but also other problems where you have to maybe sometimes, fungal infection, where you sometimes have to use something that affects the whole ecosystem. Doesn't hurt to be aware of that, because in the future, I'm sure the next generations will take greater care of that, because they will have to do that. Because we're already at a point where a lot of the insect species are lost. So at some point we will have to ban more and more pesticides, and because otherwise the insect populations will just become extinct. A lot of insects will just disappear, and since a lot of other animals kind of connect with the insects, it's all one ecosystem. So that is my prediction long term, that more and more pesticides will disappear, because it is so hard to apply them without hitting anything else. So yeah, I like to have spiders in the greenhouse. The greenhouse is usually full of big kind of spider webs. Where I live, we don't really have dangerous spiders, so I can do that. If I would live in a country like the United States, where I have like a black widow kind of situation, I might see it a little bit differently. But the spiders that we have here, they are pretty. They can cause maybe pain, like when you're stung by a wasp, something like that. But that is it. So I don't mind it. I just leave them be, and hope that they also take out the one every now and then, that they protect the plants from slugs, from any kind of pest that is walking around in the greenhouse in summer. A lot of grasshoppers. So yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm through with the seedlings. That's great. Happy about that. And yeah, maybe cleaning a bit more seeds now, 1 or 2, so we can see progress. For now, I'm coming along nicely with the seeds, but it's still a lot of work. There are so many seeds that you just have when you're a cactus breeder. So we're trying to get them to a point where we can sow them out. So this is a hybrid, a multi-hybrid, a cross by myself, and a hybrid. The mother is one of these feathers hybrids with the feathery kind of flower. Very good flower, interesting flower, and I try to grow from seeds, but they often have tiny fruit. Every now and then I get a big fruit on one of those feathers hybrids that I've shown by Uwe Kahle. They are visible in some of my videos, and if you have seen them, you know what I mean. It is a really cool kind of hybrid with ragged yellow petals, almost looking like feathers. And it's a valuable kind of hybrid, valuable for long-term breeding, where I feel like it could produce me 10, 15 great mother plants if I make the right cross with it. So I use it a lot, and I usually try to get a columnar plant into it. So every time I get seeds from them, it's usually something good. Not every time, but usually. And in this case, I cleaned the fruit, and it's just maybe, I don't know, 10 seeds. Genetically, this cross did not work out. Sometimes you make a cross and you have maybe 1 bag of seeds. That's why it's so difficult to live from selling seeds. So many of the crosses, so many of the fruits are tiny. Cleaning it up now. And when I'm done with my stream, I will have a talk with my mother. She was just at the police station trying to, claim press charges because of the pickpocket thief that stole her purse. So yeah, and the moment I'm going offline, I will check with my mom. She hasn't been doing well because of this. So yeah, good night. Take care. Thank you for joining in the stream. This week is an interesting week. A lot of things are happening. Stuff with the window, with the heater. Just glad when this week is over. I'm really, really glad. Relieved and happy when it's over. Okay. Found a few seeds that I've sorted out, like viable seeds here. But it's not a lot. Most of the seeds, I can feel it when I touch them. They are not viable. They are just flat, very flat. You can, when you kind of move them around between your fingers, they already fall apart. Every now and then I find one where I feel it could have life in it, but most of them don't. This was a genetic kind of mismatch, and it happens a lot with the ragged kind of hybrids. It's a huge problem with apricot glow. No, not apricot glow. Super apricot. Super apricot has that kind of problem where when you get a fruit, the fruit is ripening for months, and then you have 1 or 2 seeds in it. Just genetically not well together. Like myself. That's why I kind of, I give it a chance. But so far I haven't really grown a lot of super apricot offspring that was really healthy. The offspring very often has problems. Okay. Yeah, I mean, in total, if we get from this one fruit, if we maybe get 10 seedlings, then that's good. If we get 10 seedlings in this case, then it's a success. Then it's a big success. That's what you often have to keep in mind. Like when I'm going through seedling containers and I see that we only have 1 or 2 seedlings. Sometimes when you get 1 or 2 seedlings from a cross like this, it is actually a lot. So I would bag these and we will sow them out sometime soon. Not really seeing a lot of life in everything else that I took out of this bag. Okay. So feathers, 2025. Very good hybrid. I have shown it on the channel a few times and it is very good. Also genetically interesting, like in regards to whatever you cross in there, it could produce something good, like something where you feel like the offspring could be great, that kind of thing. Okay, so then we have Otto Schulz. These are seeds from an Acacia hybrid called Otto Schulz. Acacia rosei flora. Very beautiful cactus. Very similar to cactus. Thin, slender growth, but a little bit thicker than cactus. In this case, a follow-up hybrid of Otto Schulz, a very famous cultivar, and in my opinion, it might even be self-fertile. I'm not convinced that the offspring that you get from Otto Schulz, in many cases, that it is true hybrid. It looks very often like it can, to a certain degree, pollinate itself. That is something that I sometimes see. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens. I would give Mika and Kami your best regards. I will cuddle them later. So yeah, everything. This isn't really the type of seed that is really dirty. I don't really have to clean a lot here. This is okay. And we will be sowing out them like Acacia hybrids again this year. I harvested seeds from Otto Schulz. I harvested seeds from Mamacita. Mamacita being a Cactain Fers hybrid. And a lot of people who grew offspring of Otto Schulz have said that it is very dominant. The offspring often looks just like the mother. And that sometimes tells me that self-fertility can play a role when that happens. Not always. I mean, there's that famous hybrid Mamacita, which I mentioned just now. And it has a great flower that somehow seems to have been influenced by the father, which was an Echinopsis of some sort. So it is definitely possible to make a hybrid cross with them. I just say very often, maybe if they don't get pollen from something else, they have a mechanism to pollinate themselves, to make sure that they produce seeds. It just happens too often. Every year I have so many fruits on Otto Schultz. I have 2 plants and every one of them has 7, 8, 9 fruits every year. That sounds a little bit too high. Just from the success rate that you would expect, you know, just from the failure rate that you would expect. I don't see a lot of failures with Otto Schultz. Not many. They happen, but rarely. And that can be a sign of self-fertility. Just cleaning around the seeds here. There aren't many seeds, maybe 40. But the cleaner they are, the higher the chance that I will be able to get some of them to adulthood, to flowering. And within the next couple of weeks, we might have to clean seeds again, like really wash seeds. I'm almost coming through my list of seeds that I have here. And what's left is a lot of seed that still isn't cleaned. We need to do that on the channel too, unfortunately. And it will be dirty work, but it needs to be done. Okay, it's almost clean now. Just removing a little bit of dust, plant debris. But when you are cleaning an acacia fruit, it should usually, there's not a lot of organic material that can cause problems, that can kind of start to rot and contaminate your seeds. There's not a lot of it, like not a lot of matter that's to them. Very small kind of fruit, maybe this big only. Very similar to Cactus, Hildewinterer kind of fruits. So these are pretty clean now. And yeah, thank you everyone who's still watching. I mean, this is a fun activity. Living the life of a cactus breeder on the live stream. Okay, Otto Schultz 2025. Okay. Next year we're doing a little bit better, like we're keeping better track of the crosses, but this year it doesn't matter. I don't care. It was such a bad year this year. I'm just glad when the year is over. We filmed so many great videos. That was kind of my main focus for the channel. Just filming. Just letting the camera roll. And that worked very well. So now we are stuck with all the seeds that are also there and, you know, need to be kind of not wasted. Okay. Yeah, this is Sörensia Fateri Orange. And Sörensia Fateri is very similar to Sörensia Huasha. Sörensia Huasha, formerly Echinopsis Huasha, formerly Trichocereus Huasha, a very small kind of plant, not getting very tall, maybe 40 centimeters, 50 centimeters, maybe at the most, not very tall. And Fateri kind of differs from Huasha by having a different kind of flower, different flower color. and it's really nice. It's a really nice kind of flower. So it's very useful. And I usually make crosses with it. My plants came from a collection by family Hofer. I didn't get them directly, but indirectly from eBay. I think, you know, every now and then you just get a plant that originally came from them. And the flower color is very nice, very beautiful, kind of orange reddish. It's actually not orange if you ask me. It's red orange. I'm not sure what the name for the color is, but it's not perfect orange, you know, like the normal kind of orange. So every year I try to make a cross with it, and when I do it, I usually try to get in Lobevia, because I know that they are able to be pollinated with pollen from Lobevia. And in this case, I use something like Lobevia winteriana, trying to get the amazing throat into the flower, into this amazing kind of orange color that you already have. And if it works, then this could be a great cross. But I first need to clean everything. Need to make sure that the viability is there. Sometimes the seeds drop the viability very fast. Sörensia is just like that. They have smaller seeds, smaller than other species, smaller than other genera like Trichocereus, and the size of the seed kind of affects the viability. I don't know how it hangs together, but it just has to do with each other. Maybe they just can. It's possible to have a longer shelf life when the seed is a little bit bigger. Okay. Yeah, cleaning up everything here. Just trying to remove the plant debris that was in there with it. But a lot of it doesn't have any seeds. It's just crushed plant matter, crushed pieces of the fruit. Okay. I will now move them to a little piece of paper that I have here. And I'm probably going out of the stream soon. Just wanted to let you guys know in advance. Always getting to the point after 1.5 hours where it's getting very hard work to speak. I had to walk a long way. Coming back to the point where I can do this kind of stuff. I'm very happy that I can do it, but also I always have to take breaks in between. So every now and then I just say, okay, I gotta go to sleep now. But yeah, I want to finish this thing. I want to finish cleaning these, and then I'm probably having a chat with my mom regarding how this thing with the police went. I just hope that they help her. Very often when you go to the police about pickpockets and stuff like that, they are overwhelmed, you know. They are kind of already overwhelmed with everything they do. So I just hope that they take the time to really investigate this. I mean, someone took money from my mom's account. So at least the guy has to be on camera when taking off the money. So I really hope that something will happen there. But overall, I'm just a little bit depressed lately. That kind of a behavior is something that I'm really not used to. And it kind of hurts to see that, especially when it's your mother. But okay, guys, so I'm going offline now. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you for joining. Thank you for participating in the stream. I appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow. Take care, guys.